We are back again.
Back again, popular demand.
Yes, and this is our first official full episode? Full episode. Right. Wow.
Yeah. Congratulations.
And this episode we'll be talking about red flags and ignoring the red flags.
Well, actually, it's a little deeper than just ignoring the red flags. When a red flag is presented to you, a lot of times when you meet a person for the first time, people refer to red flags as a precursor as to something or an issue that you'll have to deal with later in the relationship should you continue it. And that's what we mean by red flags. So, some people perpetuate their lives by ignoring red flags, either thinking that the situation is going to get better, air quotes, or that somehow it's not going to apply to what they got going on.
Yeah.
What they see, it's not going to apply to what they got going on. And
So we pretty much came up with this subject because we were watching an episode of Ready to Love, and this week's episode
completely
was kind of like jaw dropping.
Yeah, it was. It was surprising. It was.
Mainly focused on Tony and Morgan.
Right.
But Morgan is a very beautiful woman.
Yes.
Tony gives me jailbird vibes. I hate to say it, but it kind of does.
He states that he's an accountant, so I'm going to give him...
Yeah, we're going to give him accountant. Okay, right. I guess.
No, I think that it's not necessarily jailbird vibes per se. Street. Extremely street. So he resorts to the street mentality and the street method of dealing with things in conflict and also in love. Okay.
Because I would say, and not to be too harsh on him, but he is one that when he comes on the screen,
you take a deep breath.
I take a really deep breath.
Yeah, I mean,
I give you the flat tire, like, oh, like
and
what
not,
in the world?
Right, but not everybody is for everybody, and I think that that type of personality is an acquired taste.
It really is, because I guess you would have to be into fake people and actually you know that he's bringing his representative. Okay. And if you're really watching, you see the real Tony come out, like a little peek his head. The last couple episodes, you were starting to see the real Tony, and you can't convince me that Morgan, being behind the scenes, hasn't already seen this person.
Right, but okay. Now this is theory, but it's been proven in my everyday life. I've been around a long time, and it's my full and total belief that a person can only send their representative and represent as that representative, but for so long. There's an expiration date on that representative because people get comfortable even when they send their representative, and they start to resort to their own comfortable way of dealing with things.
Yeah, not to say that he's the only one that is like showing these red flags. We've seen Morgan's red flags as well, even during her dinner. The introduction of her ex, I guess one of her exes. Yeah.
So it was a
homegirl. Let me give the background.
So it was a episode where the exes of the person that they were dating was invited to have dinner with them and discuss it with the potential person that they can be connected with on the show. Yeah, so it was the ladies' week. It was the ladies' week, yeah,
to present their exes. So we know that she has toxic behavior. The vengeful, because the ex said that, he loves his hair, he has beautiful hair.
He did have
and because she suspected that he was cheating on her, didn't have facts, but suspected that he was cheating on her, she puts Nair in his hair. So slowly but surely, his hair is coming out. And that is, to me, that is such a...
Vile. And we're back again. Now, this is part 2 of the very first discussion. Now, we had so much substance and it was so much stuff that we had to cover. What we found ourselves doing was talking about it after that film is actually over. So we're back again to make sure that we flesh out exactly what the details were and what we were saying, because we want to make sure that, these red flags, air quotes, are understood, as we say.
So yeah, where I left off explaining what Morgan did to one of her exes.
Right.
That was such a vile act for her to put nair in his hair, and something that he valued so greatly over something that she didn't even have proof of.
No, that was the key. The proof or no proof, and we find that to be like a common theme in a lot of these reality shows. There's not necessarily proof that a person did it. It's just the thought that you might do this offensive thing to me will cause me, rather than go have a conversation with you, which is what the adult thing is.
Yes.
To react to what I thought you would.
What I think you did.
What I think you did.
Or what I think you intended.
When the adult thing is just have a conversation.
So she lowered the hammer on him, and it's like, okay, no judge, no jury.
Yeah, this is what we're doing.
Guilty. Yeah.
Then when asked why did she do such, because again, Tony and the ex are in front of faces, she says, well, that was the sum of my grand finale, my grand exit.
Yeah.
So it's almost justification for doing such a...
justifying bad behavior.
Yeah, exactly.
And actually thinking that it's cute.
Yeah.
So that being said, it makes you wonder, like, these are red flags for her.
Yes.
Right? But is she deserving of this relationship?
Now, that's a very, very good point. It's a good point you made, whether you're deserving of the relationship. That brings about the conversation that we had behind the scenes about karma.
Yes.
A lot of times in relationships, what you put out there, comes back to you in one form or another.
But wait a minute, because you're stepping on my toes, right?
What do you mean?
You're data driven.
I am data driven.
I'm karmic, spiritual, energy driven.
No.
So
listen,
which was my point to begin with in the conversation behind the scenes.
Wait a minute.
But that's why I said that maybe Morgan is deserving of this relationship, meaning because of all the things that she's done in her past, because that's only one ex that we know of, right?
Yes.
Because of all the things that she may have done in her past, this is a lesson for her. So that energy that Tony is bringing, this relationship, is something that she is supposed to embrace, because there's a lesson that needs to be learned on the other side of it.
Okay.
So,
and with that said, and this brings me to my next point. With that said, the other side of that is you have an ex sitting there breaking bread with you, telling you about all of the potential, well, actually, they're not even potential. These are the heinous acts that she's already committed. Okay. Tony's listening to this and saying,
committed, and also, laughed about it, and I did it.
Yeah, I did it.
I own it.
I own it.
Yeah.
You owning bad behavior and not even providing an excuse for where you are in the moment and what you would feel. It doesn't really matter. So her presentation is, it doesn't matter what you think. It doesn't matter what you feel. I'm going to do what I want to do regardless.
Yes. Yeah.
That is bad behavior in itself.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the thing is, it's a possibility, because we don't know Tony's history like that, because for some reason they don't bring the exes of the men on the show.
No, I did notice that.
I did.
Notice that.
Was that
okay.
Calculated? Like what was
Wait
that?
a minute. What do you mean calculated?
Well,
so you're saying it's a man's show?
I think if you're doing family and you're doing friends and you're doing exes, it should be from both sides. And I thought that's how it was set up in the earlier seasons.
It was.
Yeah, but now it's like, okay, with the women, you could bring your ex, but then the men, you bring your best friend. And it's like, what? Why can't I bring my best friend? Like, why can't I bring my dog to have my back? You know what I'm saying? I got to spill my secrets. And then Jeffrey was straight up smart and clever, was like, yeah, I don't mess with my exes like that. So they won't be on the show.
No. What that
God knows what
listen,
they would
exactly.
come with.
Listen, her exes had the tapes on it. And so, come on, Jeffrey.
Yeah, you can't tell me nothing.
Yeah. True.
You can't tell me nothing.
No,
if you watch the show, you understand.
Well,
you know what we're talking about.
The question
you know
is,
where we're coming from.
question is, with that said, Tony making the decision to go forward, knowing what he knows about the woman, unquestioned, is a red flag in itself.
Yeah.
So he's taking on the persona of bring on the drama. Yeah, I want some of that. Give me that. Like, what mature adult male wants to bring that type of unrest and vile behavior into his home? Now
it makes you wonder, because I've been really thinking about this.
I can tell.
Now, what if Morgan parlays it like, I'm going to make him think that I'm picking him, but in the end, I'm going to be that strong black woman, and I'm choosing myself. I don't want nobody, right? Because it's been done before. So she pulls the okie doke on everybody, right? That's a possibility.
It is a strong possibility. But, okay, from a male's perspective, from an adult male's perspective, a mature adult male's perspective, the only thing that you're doing with that is saving face. That's all you're doing with that. Morgan, if you're listening, you're only saving face.
No, you're saving your life. Since you are saving your life, what are we talking about saving face? No, that it would be the perfect decision to make in this moment. Because Tommy was even like, all right, tell me, sis, like, how many red flags have you, like, come in contact with? Like, how many glaring issues have come your way? I mean, Cynthia, also, how many red flags, like, save yourself?
You're making a list of the people, but the person has to make the decision.
No.
She's making the decision to continue.
No, absolutely.
Okay.
I totally 100% agree with you. That's not the point. The point is that you have so many warnings and so many blaring sirens saying, don't do it. Don't enter. Don't pass go. And you're still pushing forward. The ultimate get back to Tony would be, no, I'm choosing myself. I don't want to be a part of this whole thing, right? But if she goes down that road and it's going the way that we think it's going to go, then, yeah, this is going to be a dumpster fire. And I feel bad for all parties, involved. But then I pray for their, that they reap in mercy and that they learn the lessons that they need to learn on the other side, right? Because you don't want anybody harmed. I don't know what karmic energy she's put in the universe. So you got to let the universe do what the universe does. But the point is that I pray that her soul becomes stronger through this whole experience. His soul becomes stronger. Just seeing their behavior, just seeing how they interact, seeing that it is toxic. That's something that I need to change. So there's always room for, me, I'm the glass half full. Like, that's never going to change. So I'm really looking for a happy, harmonious outcome with this whole thing.
And with that said, I'm the exact opposite. I can tell you what it is, not what it isn't. And I'm saying to you, at that point, yes, it does have the potential to be extremely detrimental to both parties involved.
It does.
But at the same time, sometimes there are journeys that we have to take in order to learn lessons. Because the things that have happened in our past, we've stopped when that lesson was about to be learned. We've stopped when that experience was about to be had. We've stopped when the bad behavior was going to be checked.
Based on what?
Based on anytime you have two people that's potentially as detrimental to each other as these two, you do have the option to back up at any time. Neither person is making that decision.
But we don't know yet. And that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
We could get all the way to the end and Morgan just say, because I know Tony won't. Tony's got too much ego, too much what he wants to call maybe bravado on his side.
I'm sorry. Do you like
pumping through his veins.
Don't mince words. Tell me how you truly
Well, no, I did say earlier that he's one that, I imitate a flat tire when he comes on the screen every time. I mean, it's involuntary. I don't even know I'm doing it. But when I clue in, it's like, man, that's a shame. I feel like that about this person. But it's something about his energy that is just like, it's horrible. And it might be that I've come across that energy at some point in my personal life, you know what I mean? And have had a bad interaction with. And so now I'm kind of like, like it gives me a reaction. But moving on, because this is not about me.
Not about you. It's not about her.
It's not about me. Because I mean, we've experienced red flags in our lives. I mean, I think that's part of being on this earth and having the experiences and being in relationships. You, at some point in time, have ignored a red flag,
But does it come with, and then see, that's the dichotomy, because the question is, does it come with experience in handling red flags? Or does it come with, I'm going to heed the advice of someone else, someone who can see my situation from an objective perspective, and I don't have to go through it. I don't have to subject myself to, potential harm, because I'm listening to what someone else who can see it from another point of view is trying to help you out with.
Yeah, but what's the likelihood of that happening? Like, actually a young adult sitting and like living in this bubble, like, yeah, well, my mom and dad said, or my friend said, I shouldn't go this direction, so I'm not going to go that direction. No, normally we're just like full steam ahead. Boom, we're doing this.
No.
And that's why I said it's a certain age group that, you kind of have these experiences, right? We shouldn't be doing this at 38 and 40 something. Like, not at all. So that's what makes this so like, girl, what?
It does make the experience fun,
like,
because we don't really understand why we're sitting here watching teenage behavior with people twice their age. We really don't understand it. It's for me, it's entertainment, but for her,
it's like watching an after-school special. You remember them?
Of course I do.
Yeah,
I'm in Philadelphia.
So it's like where you're like, girl, don't walk through that door. You ain't supposed to do that. Oh, he gonna get you pregnant, and you gonna have to drop out of school, and you ain't gonna be like, it's like one of those, and she's 30, then
38. She's 38.
I want to say damn near 40.
She's 38.
And it's just like, come on, sis. Okay.
With that said, I think that to define my position a little more, yes, she's more astrological and she believes in universe and energy and the cosmos. But also on the other side, it's about positive and negative. It's about push and pull. Mm-hmm. It's about energy out and, energy back. Yeah. So it's not so foreign to believe from a perspective of science that, you've thrown a lot of, negative electrons out there. To expect them not to come back to you is ridiculous.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we kind of agree on that.
Yeah, you got to be mindful of your actions and your thoughts and, your words, because they do come back.
But I believe that you should treat everybody as you want to be treated.
Yeah.
I mean, that's bottom line. Okay. Mm-hmm. And both people in this situation are failing to do that. Relationship after relationship after relationship. So we will stay tuned and we'll keep watching, this slow train wreck as everyone else is.
Oof. As I said, I pray for mercy on their souls, that they don't have to go the distance, Yeah. And hopefully she does the okie doke and is like, I got y'all. Like, I'm not going down that road,
I wouldn't hold my breath on that.
Then I'll toast it up with a glass of champagne, because I'll celebrate for her,
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm glad that you shared the time with us to help us flesh out exactly, what we were thinking and what was going through our minds at the time.
Yeah.
It was a lot of meat in this one. And it's a lot of personal experience that kind of bleeds over into what you're seeing because you have a lot of personal experience. We're both divorcees.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of personal experience in what you're seeing and play out in someone else's life. So that being said,
what?
Pughvision, that's where it's at.
Oh, we're wrapping up, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
You're going to put the kibosh on it.
Go and put the kibosh on it. Understand this. This is this is probably the best point to end. Of course, we can go on and on, for days about this subject. But I'd rather watch and see what happens because I don't want to predict the behaviors of people that I don't know.
Yes. So we'll be back with the next episode and we'll see how this whole thing, turns out. Absolutely. We'll give her room to breathe. See what decision she makes. Is she going to go right and say, no, I choose myself? Or is she going to take left and go with that bum Tony?
Don't miss words. Tell me how you truly feel. Tell me how you truly feel. That said, Pughvision, that's where it's at. Thanks for coming out. We really do appreciate the support.
Yes, stay blessed and good vibes.
Always.